Hey guys, James of the New Squad 2 here. I don't normally do something like this, but like I said, I want to try something new. So today I'm going to be doing a how to draw for Mario and Luigi. You could probably tell from the Mario Party Mario just sitting in the corner. Now, yeah, so hopefully you guys like it. And if you don't, then oh well. Just another experiment. Anyway, yeah. So, okay, so now let's get started. When you're drawing Mario's head, when you start off drawing the head, you gotta make it like sort of this partial, roundish, kinda square, round, like this sort of shape. And then when you're making the ear, you're going to want to do like sort of a thin ovally shape, and you continue it into the side hair piece. It's okay if you make mistakes. As you can see, I'm making a bunch of mistakes right there. So yeah, you can try different ways of trying to get the ear to work. And once you feel like you got it, then you can just make his sideburns, which is just 2 bumps and a little bit of a crescent line. So we're gonna move on to the nose, like the facial features. So to make the nose, you gotta make like obviously a round circle with at least one part of it not completely linked. You know, like kind of like a full circle, but actually it's more of a C in this case since it's 2D art. But yeah, so what you're gonna want to do is just draw the nose, and once you got that, start to make the mustache, which is a mustache that goes curving up and 3 bumps on each side. So on the bottom, you need 3 bumps on each side. You need a little bit of space because we're going for older Mario, N64 Mario, where he had a little bit of a gap in between the 2 sides of his mustache. So now when you're going to make the eyes, you're going to make like a sort of ovally shape, but for the bottom to kind of go along the nose. So it's like almost a normal eye. Now for the eyebrows, you're just going to want to, make an eyebrow shape, like kind of like a crescent moon kind of shape. It's hard to explain how to draw an eyebrow. Now, when you are drawing the character's hat, you're going to need to make the rim, obviously. So you got to try and, draw a rim by, drawing the bottom line in, sort of a curved part going over, the head. And then to make the upper part of the rim, you just got to try and make it look either thin, thick, like if it has some depth into it. Then you're going to want to do the same sort of curving thing, but kind of a little bit more to the side. Now to actually make the hat, you're going to want to do what you saw just there, but a little bit better. As you can see, the rim, I retried again because you got to make the rim just how you want it. And now back to the hat thing. You're going to want to make one giant bump, like if it was going to be a hat, but add in a little bit of a divot when you're drawing it, so that way it kind of has a Mario feel. Try not to make the hat a little too low, and try not to make the hat a little too high. So when you're drawing the emblem shape, you gotta just make sort of this half circle thing that has straight lines going down into the rim. Now, as you can see, I'm referencing it straight from the character model, so I kind of had some reference. So make sure that if you're starting off, you can use references. You can try making an M on the emblem right there and try making the facial features present, but then when you color it in, it's kind of going to be tough to go around it. Anyway, when making the overalls, you first want to start off with the shirt that you see in between the 2 straps. So you're going to have to bend it in kind of like an upside down trapezoid. And then you're going to want to make the suspenders like a little bit of a rectangular thin line going down. If you want to like add in the little ringy things underneath, that's sort of just a bit of experimental stuff. You might want to save it a bit later. But yeah. So depending on which person you're doing, you can either have the straps like thick or thin. And once you like make the strap, make sure you have the hairpiece, like the back part of the hairpiece done as well, which is kind of like a little curved line and then a rounded off end. So to make underneath the arm, you gotta make a little bit of a, like, C, like if it looked like as if someone was trying to make a C, and then stop. And then to make the belly, you just gotta make, a round circular shape for both the front and the back. Now, for this guy's arms, it takes like sort of a bit of experimenting. You can make the arms like thick arms, or you can make them thin arms by like just adding in a bit of a liner knot. So you gotta make the arm like a good length, and then to make the glove, you gotta have the glove cuff like sort of a kind of oval-like shape, and then for the actual hand, you could do spears if you wanted to, like just circles, or you could add in fingers, which are usually like mini oval or like rounded like hills or stubs. So then you're gonna want to make the second arm, which is gonna mostly be just like there to be like, oh hey, this guy has 2 arms. So it's optional if you want to make it visible. You could also put it in whatever pose you want. I just went with like a similar pose but on the inward side of the other arm. Now, when you're making the buttons, they're just ovals or circles. That's just simple. So then you could add in like the little loop thing if you want, but again, you should probably wait until the coloring. But yeah. Now for the legs, you can curve them if you want, or like position them however you want, but you mostly want the leg, like the beginning of the leg and the ending, and the bottom part of the foot to match up with the beginning of the arm and the ending part of the fingers or knuckles or whatever it ends at on the hand for however you drew it. So now, to make the legs, you gotta do like a rectangular shape, but you can add in like a little bit of curve. You can make the bottom part of the overalls act kind of like jeans, where it slouches in the back and then like is like shortened at the front. Then you can add in the shoes. You can add in your second leg, and then add in like sort of a rounded thing on the bottom to symbolize 2 separate legs. Yeah. So now what we want to do next is so if you are using a template, then we're going to move on now to our character, which is my personal favorite Nintendo character from the Mario series, Luigi, the Mario Party version. Now, you've probably been seeing like similar steps as the Mario one. Basically, for the Luigi one, to make his head, just make it like sort of a thinner than Mario's head, but oval bottom part. And then do the same for the ear, but this time you're going to want to make one round bottom and sort of crescent shape like sideburn. You do the nose in the same way by making a C. And this time for the mustache, you bring it up, on the top, and then go down into one big bump on the bottom. And then leave a space, and then do that on the other side. You can color in the mustaches early if you want or not. But make sure there's a space, and also make sure that it's not too big, because like this Luigi has like a big but thin mustache, while like almost every other Luigi on the N64 era had like a big, like gigantic mustache for some reason. now for the eyes, you do basically the same thing. And for the hat, you do basically the same thing as well. So we're just going to speed through that process. So we're going to move down to the suspenders, like to the suspender part, as people would call it for the overalls. You're going to give him like a sort of bigger body and like a not so round stomach. It still has to be somewhat rounded because in Mario Party it was somewhat rounded. It just had to be like less round than Mario's. But yeah, basically for like the middle part when you start off making the overalls, it has to be like Mario's but a little bit longer, not super long, because as you can see, I messed up the proportions of Luigi to Mario because, like I said, for Mario Party Luigi, since he's super duper tall compared to Mario, his nose, like that Luigi's nose goes up to, is like, that Luigi is the only Luigi that has Mario's nose, like, be about the same level as Luigi's neck, or bottom part of his head. Now you can do the same thing with the hands. I'm not exactly sure if I did draw them, like, open or, like, closed, or just how Luigi has them in Luigi's Mansion. Kinda closed, but up against his legs. Or non-existent legs in this case. But yeah. So yeah, you can, again, pose this stuff in, like, different ways. Well, I guess draw different poses for the characters. But yeah, a lot of this stuff was just trial and error. So if you're watching this, then maybe as you're drawing this, you could go through some trial and error too. If you feel like you messed up on the proportions, like he's a bit too tall or a bit too short, then you can go ahead, select a part of him, like press up or down on the keyboard to like move him up or to move him down, to like fix the proportions a little bit more to have him better match Mario. Now for the buttons, you're going to want to do ovals. Mario is more of a circle button and Luigi's more of an oval button. Now the emblem is more of an oval as well, so it's kind of like Mario's, but just more sort of ovally. Like, it's close to his, but more of like an ovally dome sort of thing. So, yeah. Once you feel like it's good, then you can add in the bottom part to the legs if you forgot to, and you can fix up some extra stuff, and if you want, you can get rid of the templates, or you could keep them because the next part is going to be coloring. So, again, if you haven't already, then you're going to want to color in the mustaches of Mario and Luigi, along with, like, any part that's supposed to be black. You're going to want to color in those overalls like a standard blue, kind of like how Mario and Luigi have in the game. Now you can zoom in and make the size of the pen smaller to fix any mistakes you have. And yeah. And if you have like any sort of problem with like the round stuff on the overalls, you can fix it by like adding it later at the end, because it's more about getting a general idea, drawing it, or like using a template, drawing it, and then like coloring it in. And yeah. So now we're adding in the round things again. So yeah. Like I said, it's kind of better to do this at the end, because you kind of can tell that it's there. Okay, now we're going to move on to the, so now we'll be moving on to the hat and shirt of Luigi, since we have that template up right now. It's gonna be like a nice sort of standard green, like a dark and a light green, kind of like, just general green. Before they darken it for Luigi's Mansion. That sort of green. So yeah, you color in the shirt and the hat green, like that. Then you color in his face with a, like, sort of slightly tan, slightly not, like, peach color. And again, fix up the mistakes if there are any. And yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of your choice if you want to fix up any mistakes that are kind of there. So yeah, for if you had made a mouth on Luigi, then you can go ahead and just like make a dark sort of like crimson-esque color for the inside of the mouth. Sorry if you hear any background noise, that's just me moving around in my chair, because sitting down in it for a long time can get really uncomfortable. Anyway, so yeah, you can, like, do whatever you want. Yeah. So, again, you might make changes depending on what something looks. But yeah. Now, we're basically gonna move on to the symbol in the hat. Now, for Luigi, like the Mario Party Luigi anyway, every other Luigi has sort of like a straight line down the middle of the white circle, and then when it does the vertical line for the L, it kind of crooks upward to like give it that sort of Luigi shape. Well, for the Mario Party Luigi, you're gonna want to do kind of that, but but it has to be a completely straight L, because if you take a look at artwork for the game along with like the actual character models, Luigi's L is like a very, very straight L. Like there's no crooked anything in it. It's kind of like a specific type of symbol. It's kind of like the Mario Golf and Mario Tennis symbol, where it's like a completely straight in the L. So basically you're going to want to take a brown color in Luigi's hair that way, and then do the same for Mario, because they have the same hair color. Then you're going to want to get a yellow color for the buttons. Like, it can be a flat yellow, or it can be like a vibrant sort of yellow for the buttons. Now for Mario's shirt, for Mario's coloring, for like the, Mario's red, it's sort of a dark reddish orange, because you know how back then, whenever something was red, it was not entirely red. It was more of a red-orange. Like, in the first Mario Brothers, it was like a reddish orange on Mario. So now, you're gonna want to make the symbol for Mario. And, like, the middle part be like a spiky V, and the outside of it being like a rectangular, crooked shape. Well. So yeah, then again, if you feel like something should not be over another thing, then go ahead and take the same color and cover it up. But yeah. Now for the skin, you're going to want to do the same thing. Just literally take the one that you just colored in for Luigi's and put it on Mario. Once you finish doing that, you're going to want to make a nice light brown for the shoes, because the hair was like more of a dark gray brown, while this is a more light brown. Now, as you can see, their eyes are completely white, so what you're going to want to do is like go to the picture and see what type of blue it is, and basically I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to get the color yourself and you don't want to use the template for help, just basically get a light blue, like in between a light and dark, grayish blue to make the eyes, and then make again the eye shape, like the eye color shape, the same as the actual eye. And once you feel like it is good, then just like fix it up a little bit, make it look like as if it's a part of the picture. And then you can add in pupils by doing basically the same thing, but using the black color. Or whatever you were using to draw the thing in the first place. So yeah. And finally, what you're going to want to do in the eyes is you want to look at the artwork and see how they handled the white glare in the eye. So what they do is make it like dead center, like a big glare. So that's what I did. If you don't want to do that and make it actually look like a small glare, then oh well, it's your choice. And yeah, I'm just realizing I forgot to color in something, and it really bugs me. Anyway, so yeah, and you can write in the names of the characters, or you can put in the title of whatever you were doing. So I wrote down, let me speed this up, I wrote down Mario and Luigi, Mario Party. And that's basically how you draw Mario and Luigi from around the N64 days of Mario Party. And let that be known, if you ever want to draw like Mario Party 1 through 3, make sure you use the Luigi that I showed you, because the Luigi in Mario Party 1 through 3 is taller, a bit more has lengthy arms and legs, and is like taller than the Luigi today. Anyway, that's basically it for this video. I think this was the first one that I did fully with the post commentary. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. I hope this kind of helped you figure out how to draw like sort of Mario and Luigi from back then, or like how to just draw someone in general. I probably should have started off easy, but oh well. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell button, and please share this video. I will make a video on the notification bell. Sorry for me being lazy. And yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.